On this, let's bring in now the CEO Leads Network, Chukwuma Okenwa, to speak about the ongoing West African Economic Conference. And it's good to have you join us. Welcome to the news this hour. What are your thoughts on this inaugural Regional Economic Conference?
First and foremost, let me commend President Tinubu for such a noble and timely initiative, because indeed we cannot be talking about Africa rising economically or rising as a region without the different economic blocks being able to sit back, review to what extent they have allowed and fostered collaboration that will advance the economic interest of the region. We know, like was clearly stated by the representative of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, the fact that Africa finds it more difficult to do trade amongst themselves than with the rest of the world. And that intra-barriers, if we can actually deal with it as a region, it could help to foster more collaboration that will advance the interest of the economy. The minister also said something which is, about the Minister of
State for Foreign Affairs.
Yes. I'm talking about the Minister of I'm talking about the Minister, no, not the Minister of Foreign Affairs, that's the Minister of Trade, okay, who particularly stressed something very important, that it's time to move from potential, right, to performance. And to foster that, I would want to dwell a bit on some of the recommendations, which was made. Review the state of art as it has to do with, the trade. Where are those challenges? What are some of the needed policy reforms and harmonization that need to be done as a region? And I think that when some of those things are put on the table and considered, the ability to do trade amongst ourselves as a region would be very, very important. And let me also say something which I find very striking and very interesting. And I would say that this whole summit was designed in a way that if the recommendations can be followed, we are sure that things is going to really change for the region. So when you look at the topic, which has to do with like unlocking, right? The trade and investment opportunities for West Africa, you discover that you can't be talking about advancing an emerging economy like the one we have in West Africa without looking at the ability of nations to do trade and then also to attract investment. So I think that since we've identified that these are the major challenges we'll have, whether it's like barrier to trade or whether you are talking about like not being able to like attract enough investment for the region. Right. If these two things can be focused on and addressed, it can help the region.
And how soon do you see these prospects materializing, looking at the political will of the key stakeholders?
Well, I think what we can say at this point is that the key stakeholders must be ready to do things differently this time around. And that is to walk the talk. We don't want it to be like an annual summit where stakeholders gather, key policymakers, the private sector come on board, and all of the intellectuals and even young persons. I mean, it's all an inclusive platform. But we want, moving away from this summit, look at the recommendations, come up with the policy templates, the ones that need to be adopted locally, maybe adopting certain kind of laws locally to back up like some of the policy reforms that has been advocated should be done promptly, so that we can give the region the much needed economic boost that is deserving of the region.
All right, Chukwuma Okenwa, that will be a fine place to rest our conversation for now. We thank you very much for your contributions.
You're most welcome. Thank you.